Before we begin our session, please read the terms and conditions that we have displayed. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good night to all the audience. Yang berbahagia, Encik Aminuddin bin Abu Bakar, Director of Teacher Training Institute, Tun Hussein on campus. Yang berusaha, Dr. Muhammad Zairi bin Husin, Deputy Director of IPG-Pelajar. Ms. Nani Johara binti Johari, Head of Language Department of IPG-Pelajar. Mr. Ahmad Safwan bin Sulaiman, Course Coordinator TSLB1114 English Language Skills in Academic Context. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our group, we are truly honored by your presence today. My name is ALEYSHA AQILAH binti Muhammad RIZAHAN, and I will be your moderator for today's academic talk show titled From Classroom to Code, the Role of Malaysian Teachers in Nation Building Today. This theme invites us to reflect on an important contemporary question. Are Malaysian teachers ready to lead in the digital era? When we think about nation building, we often imagine policymakers, economists, or national leaders. However, before any leader shapes the nation, a teacher once shaped them. So today, we will explore how Malaysian teachers continue to serve as nation builders, not only in physical classrooms, but also in digital spaces shaped by technology and artificial intelligence. Let us now begin and formally introduce our panelists. It is my pleasure to introduce our first panelist, HUMAIRA DAMIA. HUMAIRA will explore how teachers act as nation builders by shaping identity, promoting unity, developing civic responsibility, and instilling ethical values. Our second panelist is WARDAH HAFIEZ. WARDAH will focus on digital transformation in Malaysia, including ICT integration, digital competence, and artificial intelligence in education. We look forward to her insight shortly. Let us first understand the objectives that guide today's talk show. Our discussion is structured around three main objectives, and each objective reflects a different layer of our team. First, we aim to explore the evolving role of teachers in Malaysia's nation building. Second, we aim to discuss how digital technologies reshape teaching and learning. Education today is deeply influenced by technology. Third, we aim to highlight professional and ethical communication in education. In a digital society, communication happens rapidly and publicly. These objectives provide the foundation of our discussion today. Now, let us move forward to understand the deeper purpose behind this conversation. At the center of our discussion lies one essential question: how can Malaysian teachers influence national development in a digital society? This question is important because Malaysia is currently experiencing rapid technological advancement. So today, we aim to achieve three things. First, to analyze teachers as agents of nation building. Second, to examine digital transformation within Malaysia education. And third, to evaluate ethical responsibilities in the AI era. With this foundation established, I would now like to invite Humaira to begin our first core discussion as on teachers as nation builder. Humaira, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elisha. When we discuss nation building, many people immediately think of political leaders, economic planners, or policymakers. However, before anyone becomes a leader, they were once a student, and behind every student, there is a teacher. Teachers contribute to nation building in four significant ways. First, teachers shape national identity. In schools, teachers introduce students to Malaysia's history, cultural diversity, and national values. When students learn about independence, they understand sacrifice, resilience, and unity. For example, when teachers explain the significance of Merdeka, they are cultivating pride and appreciation for the country's journey. This sense of belonging encourages students to value national harmony. Without a strong national identity, individuals may become academically successful but disconnect from their society. Teachers therefore act as guardians of national consciousness. Second of all, teachers promote unity in multicultural classroom. Malaysia is a diverse country. Students come from different ethnic, religious, and socio-economic backgrounds. Teachers play an important role in creating inclusive environments. Through groups discussion and collaborative projects, they encourage students to understand different perspectives. Sometimes minor misunderstandings occur among students. Teachers often act as mediator, guiding students to resolve conflict peacefully. In this way, teachers do not only teach mathematics or English, they teach coexistence. And in Malaysia, coexistence is not an optional, it is essential. Third, teachers develop civic responsibility. Civic responsibility refers to understanding one's duties as members of society. Teachers encourage students to respect laws, care for the environment, participate in community service, remain informed about social issues. For instance, when teachers organize recycling campaign or charity project, they are instilling social awareness. Students who learn responsibility in school are more likely to become responsible citizens, voters, leaders in the future. Finally, teachers instill ethical and moral values. Values such as honesty, empathy, integrity, and discipline are shaped through consistent guidance. Teachers model these values daily through fairness in assessment, patience in explanation, and respect in communication. Students may forget specific lessons over time. However, they rarely forget how a teacher treated them. In conclusion, a supportive teacher can influence confidence, motivation, and character for life. They are architects of the nation's future. I think that's all for now. Thank you. Back to you, our moderator, Elisha, to continue our discussion.
Thank you, Humaira, for that insightful explanation. From Humaira's discussion, we can see that teachers shape the moral and social foundation of the nation. They influence identity, promote unity, cultivate civic responsibility, and nurture ethical values. This raises an important question. How does digital transformation reshape the role of teachers? So, to answer this, I would like to invite Wardah to share her insights on digital transformation in Malaysia. Wardah, over to you.
Thank you, Elisha. So, as we move into the digital era, education in Malaysia has undergone significant transformation. One key reference is the Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025, which emphasizes improving educational quality through innovations and digital integration. There are three major aspects of digital transformation in Malaysia. The first one is integration of ICT in education. In today's classroom, technology is no longer a supplementary tool. It has become part of the learning environment. Teachers now use smart boards, online learning platforms, and educational applications. These tools make a lesson more engaging and interactive. Technology itself does not guarantee a quality education. A smart board cannot replace a smart teacher. Therefore, teachers must continuously improve their digital competence to ensure that technology enhances learning rather than distracts from it. So the second one is development of higher order thinking skills, or you might know it as HOTS. Education is no longer about memorizing definitions. Students are expected to analyze information, evaluate arguments, and create new ideas. For example, instead of asking students to define climate change, teacher may ask them to design a digital awareness campaign. This task requires research, creativity, collaborations, and critical thinking. In this way, digital transformation shifts education from passive learning to active engagement. And the last one is preparation for global competitiveness. Today, students will work in a world where digital skills are essential. By integrating technology into education, teachers prepare students for future job markets and international environments. However, we must also acknowledge that digital transformation presents challenges. Therefore, digital transformation must be implemented thoughtfully and inclusively. So I'm giving back this mic to you, Elisha.
Thank you, Arda. From your explanation, we can see that digital transformation is not simply about introducing new tools. It is about redefining how students think, learn, and prepare for the future. Let us now explore how the teacher's role has shifted in this digital context. Humaira, could you please elaborate on this transformation?
Thank you, Alicia. As education evolves, the role of teachers must also evolve. There are three major shifts we can observe. Firstly, from knowledge transmitter to learning facilitator. In the past, teachers were no knowledge transmitters. Students listen, took notes, and memorized the information. However, today's digital era, information is easily accessible. Students can search for explanation online within a second. Therefore, the teacher's role is no longer to simply provide information. Instead, teachers act as learning facilitator, which means they guide students in understanding information, analyzing sources, and applying knowledge meaningfully. They encourage discussion and critical thinking. In this model, students become active participants in learning instead of just passive listeners. Secondly, from authority figure to learning mentor. Previously, teachers were often seen primarily as authority figures. Discipline and control were central to classroom management. Today, teachers still mainly authority, but they are also mentors. Some students face academic pressure, emotional stress, and social challenges. Teachers now provide guidance beyond subject content. They support students' personal growth and emotional well-being. In many cases, teachers act as counselors, motivators, and role models. This shift reflects the broader expectation that teachers nurture the whole person, not just academic performance. Thirdly, from textbook-based to technology integrated. In the past, lessons were heavily textbook-based. The textbook determined the pace and structure of learning. Today, technology integration expands learning resources. Teachers use videos, online research, and digital presentation and also interactive quizzes to enhance understanding. However, technology does not replace textbooks. Instead, it complements them. The key difference is flexibility. Teachers can now adapt content to suit different learning styles. In conclusion, the role of teacher has transformed significantly. They are not just only educators, but facilitators, mentors, and digital leaders. Thank you. Back to you, our moderator, Alicia.
Thank you, Humaira. From this discussion, we can clearly see that teachers are no longer limited to delivering knowledge. They guide learning, mentor students, and integrate technology responsibly. This transformation highlights an important idea. Modern teachers require new competencies. One of these essential competencies is digital competence. Wardah, could you explain how digital competence functions as a form of national capital?
Thank you, Elisha. So, today, digital competence is not simply an optional skill, it is a national asset. When we describe digital competence as national capital, we mean that it strengthens human resources and contributes to long term national development. There are four key elements teachers must promote. The first one is digital literacy. Digital literacy refers to the ability to use technology effectively, responsibly, and ethically. Students must learn how to search for reliable information, evaluate sources, and communicate professionally online. Digital literacy is not merely about knowing how to use social media. Spending 5 hours scrolling through content does not equal digital competence. Teacher must guide students in using technology for meaningful learning. Number two, computational thinking. Computational thinking involves solving problems logically and systematically. It teaches students to break complex problems into smaller parts, identify patterns, and develop step by step solutions. It enhances organization, analytical thinking, and structured reasoning. Number three, media evaluation skills. In the digital world, information spreads rapidly. Unfortunately, misinformation spread just as quickly. Students must learn to evaluate credibility, identify bias, and verify sources. Teachers play a crucial role in developing this awareness. Without media evaluation skills, individuals may accept information without questioning its accuracy. A society that cannot evaluate information critically becomes vulnerable to manipulation. And number four is innovation mindset. Students should not only consume technology but also create solutions using technology. Teachers encourage experimentation, creativity, and problem solving. Instead of asking only what is the correct answer, students should also ask what new solution can I design. When innovations become part of learning culture, national development accelerates. In conclusion, digital competence strengthens human capital, and human capital builds the nation. Okay, Elisha?
Thank you, Arda. We now understand that digital competence is more than technical skills. It includes critical thinking, media awareness, structured reasoning, and creativity. However, one of the most transformative elements of digital education today is artificial intelligence. So, Arda, could you now continue to explain how AI creates opportunities in education?
Alright, moving on. Artificial intelligence or AI has become increasingly integrated into education. While some may feel uncertain about its presence, AI offers several valuable opportunities when we use it responsibly. There are four main ways AI supports education. Number one is personalized learning. In a traditional classroom, teachers often deliver the same lesson to all students. However, students have different learning speeds and abilities. AI system can analyze students' performance and adjust content accordingly. This approach promotes inclusivity. It recognizes that not all students learn in the same way. It is important to remember that AI personalizes content, but teachers personalizes care. Technology can adapt lessons, but teacher understand emotion. And the second one is support for differentiated instruction. In many classrooms, teachers manage 30 to 40 students at once. Providing individual attention to each student can be challenging. AI tools assist by generating varied learning material based on students' level. For example, digital platforms can automatically assign different exercises according to students' performance. This does not replace the teacher. Instead, it reduces administrative workload and allows teacher to focus more on mentoring and interaction. AI becomes a support system and not a substitute. And the third one is instant feedback. Traditionally, students may wait several days or even weeks to receive feedback on assignments. AI system can mark objective assessment immediately and provide explanation for incorrect answers. Instant feedback enhances learning because students can identify mistakes while the content is still fresh in their memory. However, human feedback remains essential for complex tasks such as essays, creative projects, and emotional development. And last but not least, the AI tools can assist teacher in generating lesson plans, quizzes, and practice questions. These save preparation time and allows teacher to focus on higher level instructional planning. Students also benefit from organized resources and structured guidance. However, efficiency should never override critical thinking. Fast answers are helpful, but thoughtful understanding is more valuable. Okay, that's all from me.
Thank you, Wardah. From this explanation, we can see that AI enhances From this explanation, we can see that AI enhances personalization, supports differentiate instruction, provides immediate feedback, and increases efficiency. This naturally leads us to a critical question. What ethical challenges arise when AI becomes part of education? So, to explore this further, I would like to invite Humaira to discuss the ethical dimensions of AI. Humaira, please proceed.
Thank you, Elisha. As we can see, while artificial intelligence, which known as AI, offers many benefits in education, it also presents important ethical challenges. As future educators, it is essential for us to evaluate the use of AI ethically and responsibly. And now, I will briefly highlight the four key ethical concerns. Firstly, data privacy risk. AI systems collect and store student data, including personal information, academic performance, and learning behavior. If this data is not properly protected, students' privacy may be compromised. Therefore, educators must ensure that the platform they use are safe and secure. At the same time, students should be guided to avoid sharing sensitive personal information online. Secondly, academic dishonesty. Although AI can support learning, it can also be misused. For instance, students may rely on AI tools to complete assignments without fully understanding the content. When this happens, learning becomes superficial. Educators play an important role in guiding students on ethical AI usage. AI should support learning, not to replace students' effort. Thirdly, over-dependence on automation. Excessive reliance on AI tools may weaken essential skills such as writing, problem solving, and independent thinking. While technology can enhance learning, it should not reduce students' ability to think independently. AI should function as a support tool rather than a substitute for human intelligence. And finally, reduce critical thinking. If AI provide ready-made answers, students may stop questioning information. However, critical thinking is vital for personal growth and national development. Educators must therefore encourage students to question, analyze, and reflect. AI should be used to promote thinking, not to avoid it. In conclusion, artificial intelligence is a powerful educational tool. However, without proper ethical guidance, it may create more challenges than solutions. As a future educators, we must strike a balance between innovation and responsibility. With that, I would like to hand this session back to our moderator for the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Humaira, for that detailed explanation. Today, we have examined both the opportunities and ethical concerns of AI in education. On one hand, AI enhances efficiency and personalization. On the other hand, it introduces concerns regarding privacy, academic integrity, and critical thinking. This discussion highlights a central principle: technology is neutral. Its impact depends on how humans use it. Now that we have explored nation building, digital transformation, and AI ethics, we must also consider how educators communicate these ideas professionally. Let us now turn to the importance of academic communication strategies. Now that we have explored nation building, digital transformation, and ethical responsibilities, we must also consider how educators communicate these ideas professionally. Effective academic communication is essential for teachers, especially in formal discussions, classroom interactions, and digital platforms. According to Dornier 1995, strategic competence plays a crucial role in maintaining meaningful interaction. In simple terms, this means knowing how to communicate clearly, respectfully, and effectively, even when challenge arise. There are four key strategies highlighted on this slide. The first one is clarification. Clarification involves ensuring that ideas are clearly understood. In a classroom, students may misunderstand instructions or concepts. Teachers must know how to rephrase explanation without making the students feel embarrassed. For example, instead of saying that's wrong, a teacher might say, let's look at this idea from another perspective. This maintains student confidence while improving understanding. The second one is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is the ability to restate ideas using different words. This skill is especially important when explaining complex concepts. Teachers often need to present the same idea in multiple ways to accommodate different learning styles. Paraphrasing also prevents repetition from becoming monotonous. In academic discussions, paraphrasing demonstrates understanding rather than memorization. The third one is strategic questioning. Strategic questioning encourages critical thinking. Instead of asking only factual questions, teachers can ask open ended questions such as, what do you think would happen if, or why do you agree or disagree from this perspective? So, these questions stimulate deeper analysis and classroom engagement. Strategic questioning also transforms passive listeners into active participants. The fourth one is professional disagreement. Finally, professional disagreement is essential in academic environments. In higher education, disagreements are normal. However, they must be expressed respectfully. Instead of saying that is wrong, a professional response would be, I understand your point. However, from another perspective, so this approach maintains respect while encouraging intellectual debate. In conclusion, effective communication strengthens credibility and fosters a positive academic environment. So the next one is professional academic language. Building on communication strategies, professional academic language further enhances credibility. In educational setting, tone matters. Teachers must model appropriate language. Examples of academic expressions include evidence suggests, from a policy perspective, it can be argued that professional tone increases authority and trust. Therefore, educators must remain clear, respectful, and academically grounded. So, now that we have explored the strengths of digital transformation, we must also acknowledge its limitations. So, now, Wardah, could you explain the challenges?
Thank you, Elisha. While digital transformation offers many opportunities, implementation in Malaysia faces several challenges. Number one, urban rural digital divide. Access to high speed internet and digital devices is not equal across regions. Urban schools often have better infrastructure compared to rural areas. This creates inequality in learning opportunities. The second one is limited infrastructure. Some schools may lack sufficient devices, updated system, or technical support. Without reliable infrastructure, teachers may struggle to integrate technology effectively. A digital lesson cannot succeed if the system crashes halfway through, and unfortunately, that sometimes happens. Number three is teacher training gaps. Digital transformation requires continuous professional development. Not all teachers receive adequate training to use AI tools or advanced digital platforms. Support systems and workshops are necessary to ensure teachers feel confident rather than overwhelmed. And the last one is unequal access to devices. Students may not all have personal laptops or tablets. When assignments require online submission, students without proper devices may face disadvantages. Therefore, digital policy must consider socio-economic realities. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wardah. Throughout today's discussion, we have examined multiple dimensions of education in digital era. We begin by understanding teachers as nation builders, shaping identities, unity, and values. From all these perspectives, one conclusion becomes clear. Technology changes too, but teachers shape direction. Digital transformation may accelerate progress. However, ethical leadership, critical thinking, and national values depend on educators. Now, we would like to open the floor for questions. We welcome, we welcome any questions, reflection, or perspectives from the audience.
Hi, my name is Sarah Ibina. First of all, thank you so much for your very insightful and amazing presentation. So my question is, how can teachers help build national unity in the digital era?
Thank you so much, Sarah Irina, for the insightful questions. We would like to collect two more questions before we answer to the questions. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zamira Sofia. I would like to ask, um, okay, how can teachers use AI without making students too depending on it? Because as we know, AI has become something that is very familiar to us, especially as a student. Ah, that is my question.
Thank you so much, Zamira. One more from our active listeners.
Hello. My name is Muhammad Fatih Al-Akil, and I would like to ask a question, which is how can Malaysia reduce the digital divide between urban and rural schools? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatih, for the questions. Now that we have received the three questions, we would like to take a break for 2 minutes before we answer all the questions. Thank you so much. And please do not leave the meet yet since our session is not fully over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Kurang kasih dia. Aku nulis.
Thank you so much. So to answer Sarah Irdina questions, I would like to invite our panelist one, Humaira Damia, to answer the questions.
Okay, hi. Regarding the question, how can teachers help build national unity in the digital era? In of building national unity in the digital era, teachers can promote respect, share values, and teamwork in multicultural classroom. They can also guide students to use technology responsibly, which help develop a united and responsible society. So,
Thank you so much, Humaira, for answering Sarah's questions. So for question two, asked by Zamira Sofia, I would like to invite Wardah to answer the questions.
Alright, for question two, the question asked is how can teachers use AI without making students too dependent on it? So our answer would be teachers should use AI as a support tool, not a replacement for thinking. They can encourage students to check questions and analyze information. This helps students develop critical thinking skills, but still don't rely on the AI don't rely on the AI too much.
Thank you so much, Wardah, for answering Zamira's question. So for Fatih question earlier, I will answer question three. So Fatih question earlier is how can Malaysia reduce the digital divide between urban and rural school? So the main focus here is the government. The government can improve internet access, 4G and 5G, and provide more devices such as phones, iPads, laptops, Chromebook to all the schools. Teachers can also receive better digital training, such as now we have Apple Education, right? So this will help to ensure all students have equal learning opportunities from both rural areas and urban areas. Thank you so much. So we are going to close the discussion today. So, as we conclude today's talk show, let us reflect once more on our team from classroom to code. So, on behalf of our group, we sincerely thank you for your attention and active participation throughout this Google Meet session. We hope that this discussion has provided meaningful insight into the evolving role of Malaysian teachers in nation building. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation today.
thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining us.
So much, everyone.